Welcome back, mother lovers, to a brand new episode of Last Call at
fucking right.
McLaren'S, the best damn How I Met Your Mother podcast on the internet.
Not proven by anybody.
I am one of the greatest hosts here, Josh, with my other great host, John. I changed it up a bit.
I would just like to go on record for stating I do not self-proclaim myself to be one of the greatest hosts.
Well, I said one of the greatest hosts here. There's only two of us.
I mean,
so I would hope you're one of the greatest hosts here.
Maybe you have your hand up my ass working me like a ventriloquist dummy. I mean, I'm just saying.
Puppet.
Hello, puppet.
Hello, puppet. But yes, we are here for season 3, episode 8. Spoiler alert.
Stupid name.
Right. It is. We were talking about that off air, folks. It's not a great name. I'm just saying.
No, not by any means.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It's not always gonna be a winner, John.
Can't all be winners, you're right.
Yeah, can't all be winners. So spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Originally aired November 12th of 2007. We're starting to catch back up to where we are right now in the date. We were like right on top of it, and then we decided to take a month off. Is what it is. Or maybe more. Anyways, it's directed by who, John?
P. Fry.
That's right, P. Fry herself, Pamela Fryman. Written by Stephen Lloyd. This is Stephen's second episode ever writing on How I Met Your Mother. Previously, he wrote the season 2 episode Brunch. It's a good one. Yeah, and he will go on to write episodes like Intervention, The Exploding Meatball Sub, which is a good one, and The Wedding Bride. Yeah, The Wedding Bride.
Wow.
Yeah, you love that one.
I do. No, Wedding Bride is a great episode.
Jed Mosley.
My name's Jed Mosley.
Oh, man. All right. So the summary for this one: an annoying habit in Ted's new girlfriend causes the gang to point out various bad habits unnoticed by other members of the group. Marshall forgets his password and can't check the results of the bar exam. He turns to Barney for help. All right. So I had a little side note before we get into this that I thought was interesting. That I had no idea that this was a thing. Apparently, about a year after this episode came out, Josh Radnor and Lindsay Price, who's the girl who plays Kathy in this episode, actually started dating, and they dated for almost a year and a half.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like they met up, like a year later, I think it was like a year and a half after they filmed it. They just randomly met up for, they had like lunch or something like that, and then they started dating. I thought that was kind of neat.
That is really kind of cool.
Yeah. How it's weird how things work out sometimes. So we're going to get into this. Future Ted starts things off. He's telling the kids about this girl that he was dating named Kathy. Ted thinks that she's really great and that everyone's going to like her. He's ready to show her off to people. And they all go out to dinner, and everyone seems to be real, like, kind of short? With her. Yeah. They're kind of being dicks, it seems like, from the perspective that we're being shown.
From Ted's perspective, yeah.
Yes, from definitely from Ted's. And you could tell that Ted's like not happy with the way that they are seemingly for no reason treating her. So then we go back to the apartment. Ted confronts them, but since he doesn't see it, they decide they don't want to ruin her for him, and they decide not to tell him. This is going to drive Ted crazy throughout most of the episode.
Oh yeah.
Then Marshall walks in from the bedroom, and Ted tries to like ask his opinion about this. I love his opinion. He's like, I think, what does he say? Like, she's terrible, man, but that's not important right now. So
yeah.
I was like, damn, okay, he's just getting right to it. He brushes Ted right off because it's about time for his bar exam results to come out, and he's freaking out. You know, this is make or break. It's freaking out. Freaking out, John. You just watched New Girl. You should get that. Freaking. So Barney then comes in. He tries to get Marshall to watch this video of a dog pooping on a baby.
Pooping on a baby.
Yeah, man. I don't know who filmed this video, but I don't know if I could stand by and film my baby getting pooped on by a dog. So I don't know if it's the parents or what that filmed this.
So while we're talking about this, I wanted to ask that. It's really bad that the dog poops on the baby.
My hope here is that it's the dog's owner, and that owner just has a sick sense of humor, and they were just like, my dog's about to poop on that baby. I'm going to film it.
So here's where my question comes. The person whose baby it is, I feel bad for them because, you know, their kid got shit on. Yeah. But is a person who happened to have found the video and is trying to share the video, are they bad people for laughing that the baby got shit on?
I mean, you never once, because we do, he does eventually watch it. We don't see it, but you never once hear the baby cry. The baby giggles at one point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming the dog and the baby become best friends because they're both like,
the baby's like, okay. Baby's like, I do that to myself all the time.
To quote one Dean Pelton, I hope this doesn't unlock something in me.
That baby is going to turn into, he's going to have a whole new life now. A whole new life for that baby. And for the dog. Yeah, whole day. Yep.
It's going to be like, am I your dog?
Right? But when it's time to finally check the results for the bar exam, Marshall can't find his password, and he freaks out about it.
Well, and it's a big thing to freak out for.
It's
a huge decision.
But this is something that he should have kept in like a really secure place so that this situation didn't happen.
We find out though he did, and in the most creative way possible.
Well, no, I get that, but he should have had a backup. Like he should have had a piece of paper somewhere.
True.
That maybe more than one, you know, because that's a pretty important piece of information to have.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I also was reading something that apparently this would never actually happen because in New York, they just post all the names of the people who passed the bar on the website.
Oh.
And you wouldn't actually need a password, but it makes it far more entertaining that he's freaking out about. And it obviously, as we find out later on, ties into everything else that's going on.
Yeah. We'll get there.
So Marshall gets calls from both Brad and Kara, who have passed their bar exam, and they're asking about his results.
Still dating at this point.
Yeah, it's a good question. I wondered it as well because like they called separately, so it's not like they were like in the room together because they could have asked together.
They could have.
So who knows? Yeah. He even gets into an argument with his grandma about him misplacing it, which I thought was hilarious because this is not the first time that Marshall has had an argument with his grandma on the phone. It happened in the Atlantic City episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that when he's arguing with her, he's like, "No, Grandma, I don't think they're stealing from you."
Yeah. I think it's hilarious that him and his grandma have this like contentious relationship apparently.
Maybe his grandma's just a bitch.
Maybe that's why they're stealing her meds. I don't know.
Here's the thing though. What if they really are stealing her meds?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad, but it's still funny. I don't care. So Barney suggests using some hacker software to retrieve his password. He says he knows a guy at work who can do that for. So then Ted, he's still trying to figure out what's wrong with Kathy. He's coming up with all these scenarios, like did she frame her high school teacher by saying that he had sex with her and got him sent to jail? He wonders,
puppies.
he wonders if she enjoys killing puppies. And then the whole was she once a man thing, which is one of the multiple times that we get a transgender joke throughout this show. They do not age well at all going through this. And this isn't the only time that Ted wonders if a girl that he's seeing was once a man. It happens again later on.
My favorite one is the what was her name? It's the black girl that he dates.
Yeah.
And like
that's the other time that specific scenario happens.
Yeah.
And he's imagining her like walking into the urinal.
Yeah, she walks up with hand on the wall and like, hey.
Yeah. But that like they've done a number of these. They've done a couple since, and they do some more going. And I'm just every time I see them, I'm like, oh, these do not work. Like I understand that it was, at that time, it was more acceptable back then. I get it, and within the field of comedy, but yeah, unfortunately, some things just don't hold up, and that happens with a lot of the shows that kind of aired around this time. Like if you look at like The Office, 30 Rock, they all have that style of humor that just. It was super acceptable then, but when you watch it now, it's like, ooh, that's that's a little rough.
You even said though, there's a few scenes in Scrubs that could be.
Oh yeah, because that was around the same time too. Yeah,
because like there's the scene with the dancing when JD does it's the season 3 opener. JD's doing the rock out to, and Turk's like, hey, what did I tell you about dancing in public? And he's like, not unless you're gay. That fucking comment would not go over well these days.
Yeah, no, I agree. It wouldn't. And I mean, sometimes I'm sad about that, but it's like, you got to grow and you got to find other ways to be funny. It is what it is,
Dick and fart jokes. Stick to those. And...
Yeah, like I was listening to like an old Dane Cook special, like like a month ago, and I'm like, a couple of these jokes wouldn't fly now, really. You know what I mean?
No,
it just is what it is. It's kind of that's that time frame, like the early 2000s. Were a very interesting time. We'll say.
I will say a loose statement to the fact that I'm really sad that people have grown soft, that like I understand that certain jokes should never get made. Race jokes should never get made. Sexual orientation jokes should never get made. But like, there's a lot of jokes that can't be told anymore because they're just too offensive or too stupid. And I'm like, but they're not.
And I think there are. I think when it comes to stuff like that, I think if you do it in a certain way, it can be okay. Obviously, there are always going to be people who aren't going to be okay with it. But the problem that I have noticed that has arisen amongst certain comedians is they latch onto like one of those things, and then they make an entire set that is all that type of joke.
Yeah.
And it's like one or two is one thing. But if you're going to spend an hour railing on gay and trans people, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, are you out of ideas? Like, do you not have any other jokes that you can, like, that's all you've got? Like,
I think that's one of the reasons why I always rallied behind like guys like Dane, because like Dane Cook makes me laugh because he tells stories. Yeah. He's not up there just trying to be funny. He's like, let me tell you the story that happened to me. Yo, I was in the store and this guy, he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And let me explain to you why. And it's fucking funny. You laugh at it. Now, if he was to be like, I don't know. It's dumb that like we just can't have...
He just goes up there and he tells knock-knock jokes. That's it. An hour of knock-knock jokes.
I might respect that. I'm going to test these out. You guys tell me if this is funny. If they're not, I'll just check it off in my book. Knock, knock. Who's there? The repairman, man. No? Okay.
No, next. And that goes on for an hour, yes. But anyways, back to this. So Ted just doesn't understand how he can't see what's wrong with her. He doesn't get it. But the gang explains that because he's trying to have sex with Kathy, he's got this big blind spot for what's going on.
Blind spot.
He's essentially allowed himself to move beyond those things so that he can score. And then Barney tells this story about a girl that he once tried to get with, had sex for 10 hours. She said it was the best that she'd ever had. It restored her faith in God. And that was it. It had nothing to do with Ted's problems.
Nothing to do with it at all.
He just wanted to share a story. That's all.
I mean, can you blame him?
I'm like sitting here because I forgot where that part had, like, where it went. And I'm like, okay, where does this go? Right? And then it goes literally nowhere. I'm like, oh, that's Barney for you. I should have seen that coming. You know, I should have seen it coming. So Ted is so desperate to know that Marshall finally is like, fine, you want to know? You really want to know? I'll tell you. And he shatters that glass wall for him and tells him that Kathy talks a lot. And as I was reading through stuff for this, I came across something, a little fun reference that I'm assuming is why they named her this. She's a chatty Kathy.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Right? And I'm just like, I've seen this episode a bunch of times, never thought about that. It had never crossed my mind. I'm like, she is a chatty Kathy. Literally. That is clever, and I like it, and I will probably never forget that now. So I thought that was, I did not come up with that. I don't want to take credit for that. I saw it online somewhere, but I thought it was funny enough to mention.
You will never get credit for the term chatty Kathy, Josh. That has been around for decades.
I'm not saying I'm taking claim on the term. I was saying that she is a chatty Kathy.
Oh.
I can't take credit for that either. And hey, fuck you, man. Maybe I was alive back in the late 50s, early 60s when that fucking doll came out. You don't know. You don't know my life. I could be a vampire. You don't know.
First off, if we've been friends for almost 30 years and you're a vampire and you have yet to turn me into a vampire, and that is why I am going white in my beard and you still look like a 20-year-old fucking Kemosabe, then fuck you.
Maybe I'm waiting till you peak in freshness. I don't fucking know.
Well, great. I missed that fucking opportunity. I'm like that banana that you bought 3 days ago thinking, I'll have a banana for breakfast. Well, now I'm banana bread worthy, Josh.
But see, banana bread is awesome. I'm just saying, don't diss the banana bread.
I'm not dissing banana bread. I'm dissing the banana that gets made into banana bread. I'm not quite firm and ripe anymore. I'm like, I might eat that, but it's probably going to get thrown away.
Extremely useful and turn into something awesome.
I would rather be the cucumber that goes in some... Never mind.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. Goes in some sort of salad.
Maybe I do want to go there, Josh. Maybe I do.
You can be the pineapple, John. You can be the pineapple. All right. Then we get to see the events of the dinner and what really happened. She does not take a fucking pause even to breathe, man.
Nope. That's why they all interrupt when she takes the sip from her wine glass.
I want to know, was it difficult at all for the actress? Because, she goes, fast.
I guarantee you what they did is they were like, okay, we're going to record. And, when we get ready to do the take a deep breath and just go.
Just go, yeah.
And then when you take the sip, we'll...
Yeah. It was impressive, I got to say. Definitely was impressive. Now, with that wall shattered, Ted can't help but notice he's constantly becoming annoyed with her. And he's now really upset with Marshall for telling him, saying, you should have known that I didn't want to know.
And then shatters Marshall's wall.
Oh,
by
he does.
revealing
It's just
something about Lily.
this is the start of just like a dominoes where
Oh
they
yeah.
just everybody just will start shattering walls all over the place. Ted starts it off here with telling Marshall about Lily's loud chewing. To which Ted, and it's funny because like Ted doesn't say it like maliciously. He's like, oh, it's kind of like how Lily's a loud chewer, and then he just off the cuff mentions it.
Oh
Whereas
yeah.
all the rest of them are very blatantly like they're trying to hurt.
Once it starts the fight, Ted does make a couple like maliciously worded ones, like especially the one about the ribs.
Yeah,
he's like, we had ribs the other night, and it sounded like a velociraptor eating.
Yeah,
and I'm like, how would you know that?
It's true. Ted makes a comment here that he's like, that's why I always call her Chewbacca, and I'm like, never fucking called her Chewbacca. Right. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is never been a thing. At least on the obviously from what we have seen, we have never seen him call her Chewbacca.
I would have just loved to seen an episode though where like they put that in there.
Yeah, like later on, even
like in Scrubs, there's a couple times where if you catch it, after Carla comes back to work, they do the whole pickle joke.
Oh,
there is a later episode, which I can't remember what episode because I haven't watched Scrubs in a while. But there is a later episode where when JD sees Izzy, he calls her Little Gherkin.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that's a great continuity moment. I would have loved to just seen it the other way where he sees Carla randomly and he's like, sup, pickle?
Yeah. And now, like, I would have loved, like, season 8, they do a flashback and he's just like, what up, Chewbacca? And she just laughs it off, has no idea why. I think that would have been awesome. But yeah, as far as I know, I don't think they ever did go back and do that.
Nope.
But yeah. So Marshall, it would have been. Marshall gets annoyed with Lily because now that the glass is broken, he is noticing this. She's eating like some Fruit Loops, and he just can't take it anymore. And kind of like calls her out on it.
I love this one though too because he's like, "What's in there? Dry bones of birds and like
yeah, dude." They all come up with some really good ones.
Oh yeah,
like throughout it, and I'm just like the writing in this episode in particular is so snappy.
Yeah,
like it is so good.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah,
it's
man,
snappy.
It is. It's ridiculously funny. They like, what are you eating? Drywall screws?
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
My favorite one is when she's eating the cotton candy as they're walking down the street, and Ted's just like,
yeah, yeah. That's they did some fantastic stuff in this one.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But while he's doing this, he reveals that it was Ted that told him this information, and then Lily ends up telling Robin about what happened, and breaks the fourth wall for her. Telling that first off about the whole chewing thing because she's telling her about the situation because she hadn't realized it either, and then about how Ted is an overcorrector. So she actually got 2 walls broken for her in that same same spot. And then we head back to the apartment. Barney comes in. He's freaking out, telling Marshall, "You got to lock the door, man. I think someone's following me. You got to shut the windows. Are the curtains drawn or whatever he says? Are the shades pulled?
Yeah, the shades drawn." And he's like, "What? Are the shades drawn? Yeah. I can't risk anybody seeing me."
And he pulls out this disc, this CD disc, and CD disc. That's redundant. This CD, and he puts it in. He says, he's got the software, loads it up. He's doing all this like hacker talking and typing up and everything, and he finally gets it, and Marshall opens his eyes, and it's a video of a dog pooping on a baby.
Dog pooping on a baby.
He goes through all of that just to get Marshall to watch this video of a dog pooping on a baby. It was such a funny continued runner from earlier in the episode.
Oh yeah, it's probably one of my favorite B-side storylines.
Yeah,
like Marshall, you got to watch this. It reminds me of the episode where Marshall's dad passes away and they're at the funeral.
Yep.
And like they're trying to cheer him up.
Yep.
You got to watch this video. It's a guy getting hit in the balls and like,
yep, you're hitting the balls, and there was animal attacks. You take animal attacks, and I'll take you guys getting hit in the balls, something like that. Yeah, I remember that. That episode, that time frame's gonna wreck me. By the way, it's gonna destroy me. All you people out there, who knows? I might not make it through talking about it.
I may be recording by myself for a couple of episodes.
We'll see how it goes.
I'll do it off the cusp. I'll be like, "This is last call. Have a great night."
Peace out, bitches. So then Ted walks in, and he's struggling to get off the phone with Kathy, and he just hangs up on her.
He just hangs up.
She'll call back when she realizes I'm not there in like 45 minutes. And then Lily and Robin come in, and then everything begins to crumble from here. So Robin calls out Ted about the overcorrecting stuff. Ted then calls out Robin for using the word literally for everything. Robin then calls out Marshall for singing everything he does, which I'm like, I fucking do that all the time. I like
the way Marshall does it though, because Marshalls are fun.
Dude, the laundry one was my favorite. The
laundry one,
because like it's a specific kind of beat and tone that he sings when he leaves, and then it's a completely different one when he comes into because he forgot the stuff. And I'm like, that was fucking awesome. It was super clever.
The soap in the fabric
softener. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, I know I do that all the time. I sing the random shit that I'm just doing.
I love how he's like going down to do my laundry with the roll of photos.
Yeah. And then everybody calls out Barney for a bunch of things. We got talking in a weird high-pitched voice, using lame catchphrases, and then how he spaces out and doesn't pay attention.
And then everybody, all three of those.
He does. He absolutely does. And then everyone just starts fighting, and Robin goes back to Marshall for the singing thing, saying sometimes it's just gibberish. And the worst part about it is they're catchy. Apple Orchard, Banana Can't Dance, 8663.
Okay, so you actually wrote it down.
I wrote it down. Yeah.
Banana Can't Dance. I wondered what that part of it was.
Yeah, Apple Orchard, Banana Cat Dance.
Oh, Cat Dance. I thought you said can't. Banana Cat Dance.
8663.
866. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it so much more key.
Yeah. And that's his password. AOBCD 8663. Well, I think I need to start doing passwords like that from now on. Just come up with a weird song.
It makes sense when you think about it, because a lot of people get hacked on their passwords because they either use a phrase and a number combination that's easily figured out, or something that's just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's something that people would figure out. If you took a palindrome, or I said palindrome. I don't know why I said that. But if you took a sentence and took the first letter of each word and then did a number combination thing, that would save so many password problems.
It's true. Yeah. As long as you can remember that sentence, yeah, you're good.
Do what Marshall did. Do it one more time for me.
Apple Orchard, Banana Cat Dance, 8663. That should be on the CD. Them singing that. Because everybody chimes in.
Well, and that's the thing. So it's funny that they mention this here, because it hasn't gotten to that episode yet. But when they mention that he sings about everything, I'm like, man, just wait till they get to the cat funeral and the Chinese food. Because he's order Chinese food today.
Yeah.
Cat some more
funeral. I love the cat funeral song.
Funeral. Cat funeral.
Oh,
It was
it
an
was an
accident, not
accident.
entirely my
Be
fault.
my fault. Yeah, no, that's a great one. That's probably one of my. And then there's though technically Marshall doesn't sing it, but Jason Segel sings it, and that's Marshall versus the Machines. The
Yes,
song that plays,
Marshall
that's Jason Segel singing
versus
it.
the machine,
But
which
like,
is a take
it
on
works.
Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Nice.
I had looked it up because I was like, I recognized the music, and I was like, I gotta fucking look it up. It was like almost like that Scott Hall one I sent you when I found out that the Eagles song was what they used for. And I was like, I had listened to it, and I was like, I know that fucking music, and I can't figure out why because of the tempo.
Yeah.
Then when I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, there it is.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when we get there. So he logs in to check the bar exam, and he finds out that he passed and is now a lawyer. Yeah, and so they all
and writes a quick little song there too.
He does, yeah. And then they're all celebrating. Yeah, that's when they're at the bar. I think when he's doing that because they're all celebrating, and they all move on past all the little annoyances, kind of forget about them all because they're friends and they need to be able to move past that stuff. And then we get to the end of the episode. It's 3 years later. Ted runs into Kathy again and her new boyfriend, who happens to be deaf. And so she's doing her talking constantly thing, and Ted signs to the guy. She sure can talk a lot, huh? And the glass silently shatters for this guy as Ted walks away. He just ruined her for this guy completely. Yeah. Which I thought that was it was kind of a dick move, but it was still kind of funny.
Now, see, and I was going to ask you that. Is it a dick move?
I mean, he knows how that affected him when it happened.
That is true.
Like, why? And he didn't want to be told that.
I mean,
so
the only question the only thing that I really have to ask about that is though, is there any way he didn't know that because he's deaf? She signs, and he could probably read lips, which means he knows that she has to talk a lot.
Yeah, but Ted didn't even know. Remember? The glass wasn't broke for him.
Well, no. But I mean, like, being deaf, that means that guy has to pay attention to the way she speaks. He has to know that she talks a lot.
But I feel like it's the same situation where he's so intently listening or, maybe looking at, what she's saying.
True.
Just like how Ted was so intently listening to everything she said, thinking it was the most interesting things in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would just close my eyes and then she just goes away.
I mean, you're not wrong. It would work that way. But so that was season 3, episode 8. Spoiler alert. I think this is a great episode, in my opinion. What were your thoughts?
I like that this is one of those episodes that doesn't fit into like the big story arc of the show. It's just kind of there and fits in.
I mean, the only thing is Marshall's now a lawyer. That's it.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They could have passed over that with just a...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not a super, like, you have to see it. You just have to know that Marshall did become a lawyer. That's all.
True.
Yeah.
I guess that's the real nugget that's from this episode. Because, like, Kathy's never really mentioned again, and, like...
Yeah.
The boyfriend, all the other things are passed over, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
episode though. Like, I think it's
good. Like I said, snappy writing, man. Snappy writing.
Definitely. But it makes sense coming from this guy, especially with a couple of the episodes you said that he writes later. It makes more sense.
I mean, thinking about it, the fact that he goes on and writes The Wedding Bride, and there are some amazing jokes in that fake movie. There's so much fun stuff in there.
Well, it's not even the movie. Think about the because that's when Ted's dealing with his insecurities about the girl he's dating as well.
Yeah.
And like you find out about like she lives with her brother in a 1-room apartment and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, all the
and
baggage.
The baggage.
Yeah.
That argument is very mirrorable to the argument about the glass breakings.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I think and he did. I think I said he did Intervention as well, which is a good one. So yeah, a lot of good stuff, man.
Nobody wants to see Bruce Banner. They all want to see the Hulk. Come on, Hulk. Hulk.
Come on, Hulk. Oh damn.
Well, that's what I get for skimming the Evite.
Yep. All right, so that was the episode, and now it is time for Barney's blog.
Suit up, bitches.
Ooh, that was like sexy quiet.
Yeah, I was trying something different.
Little ASMR action. All right, I see that. All right, so as I said that's right. As I said last week, there are no designated blog posts for this episode or the next 3. So I have decided to bring out another edition of Barney's Mail Sack. We've got Barney's Mail Sack number 3.
What's in Barney's sack today?
This one was posted on Tuesday, January 17th of 2006 at 5:45 p.m. And it says, from time to time, I like to dip into my sack and respond to desperate appeals for help in all things Barney. Please feel free to email your own concerns to me, barneystinson@yahoo.com. If nothing else, they're good for a it says, if nothing else, they're good for a laugh, losers. And then, so the message for this one is, Dear Barney, I'm about to go on a blind date and I'm a little nervous. I let the girl plan everything and fear I'm headed for a night of romantic Victorian era movies or ballet. Did I make a mistake? Signed, Blind in Bristol. All right. And then it goes on, Dear Blind in Bristol. Ah, yes, the blind date, my old nemesis. Most people shudder at the thought. Uncomfortable greetings, awkward silences, the possibility of spending an evening alone with a heifer. But only a rare and blessed few appreciate the majestic beauty and golden opportunity that a blind date can afford. Sadly, you must do your homework. Consider this, Barney Files. Consider this, Barney Files. A blind date is but a simple game of intelligence gathering. After conducting your standard reconnaissance, Google searches, online friendship sites, police records, etc., you're usually left in the dark regarding the most important questions about your date. For instance, will her roommate be interested in splitting cable? My cable. Sorry. It's just such a bad, it was just a bad line, but
that was a bad pun.
It was. It says, by allowing her to plan the date venue, you've ingeniously tricked her into showing her hand, and hopefully that hand is steadily creeping up your leg. Below are 5 common date arenas that women suggest for blind dates. And more importantly, what each of them mean in translation. Use these as a guide, but remember, Blind in Bristol, should things get hairy, figuratively or literally, your old friend the Lemon Law is there to bail you out. And then he's got the blind date venue dictionary. It says, note, if she's an 8 or above, you may disregard the following. So it says dance club / beach. First off, those are 2 very different places. I'm just putting that out.
Yeah.
He puts home run. You get to see the real her in a skimpy outfit. What else could you possibly need to know? This Chiquita is a keeper, at least for the evening. Bonus, if you're less than impressed or happen to be related to her, there are tons of available peaches ripe for the picking. Quote unquote fancy restaurant. 2 words, Lemon Law. She already demands too much. If she expects someone to pepper her salad and refold her napkin, just imagine what lifeless participation she'll offer in the bedroom. Meet the parents. It says, Pull the chute. She's clingy, unstable, and worse yet, probably poor. Get out. Unless her mom is really hot, like a 12. Then you should stick around. You never know how these things will play out. Drinks at a bar. A fairly common date. Seems like a slam dunk, right? Not so fast, Trebek. The sand trap actually requires deeper observational skills. If she's a lush, she's either a lot of fun or emotionally unstable, and perhaps not hot emotionally unstable either. Either way, there's a good chance you'll be carrying her out of the bar, and that's not exactly the workout you had in mind. And then mini golfing. Thrives on competition, potentially a lesbian, and not in a good way. She certainly won't sleep with you unless you lose badly. Swallow your pride, gentlemen, and remember the old saying, a hole-in-one at the end of the night is better than a free game putt through the clown's mouth. There you go.
Fucking
yeah. So that was Barney's blog for this episode, season 3, episode 8. Spoiler alert. John, you got any more thoughts on the episode that you want to give?
No.
All right. So then why don't you let the good folks at home know where they can find you at?
Listen, if you don't know already, you can hop on over to Twitter. Find me right down here at Simply Sane J1. You can find my blog there. You can find my my podcast there. Both of them, they're available all the time. That's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Right. Help. I'm in a nutshell.
Help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get in this nutshell?
How did I get in this box? How did I get in this box? Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR. Or right here on Merc with a movie blog at Movie Blog Merc. I'm more active on that one. So really just hop over to Movie Blog Merc on Twitter. And you'll find me there most of the time. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can you're on the Merc with Movie Blog YouTube channel, of course, and you can hit that like button if you like what you're seeing. Smash that subscribe button. Click that little bell wherever that fucking thing is. Well, I don't know anymore. And
don't forget to check out all his past videos.
It's true. Past videos. I got all kinds of stuff. Hopefully my plan is to start putting up more than just this show on there, which is all I have done for the last several months. Is just this show on there, but I will be, hopefully that's my plan, is to get back into some movie review and stuff like that again. So I got a plan. Whether that plan holds through, we'll see, but that's the plan. If you're listening on podcast form, if you're over on Anchor, be sure to send us a voice message. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you can leave us a 5-star review, and we'll read that on air as well. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Last Call HIMYM, Twitter and Instagram, same handle. We also have a Patreon, same handle. But yeah, so I think that's everything. Again, at Last Call HIMYM. What you got?
Just doing all my links and then like advertise the all my links, because honestly, like, you have so many to go through, like the Patreon, the Instagram.
I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check. I think I have a link tree on the Twitter page, so all of that stuff. But
listen, pretty much every platform we're on for Last Call is all Last Call HIMYM. If you don't think we're there, check us out.
I've done my best to get that to be. I did my best to make sure that handle is what it is everywhere. It's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's Patreon, it's Anchor, it's Hive Social. It's all the same. It's all Last Call HIMYM.
You hear that? He does this shit for you people.
I do. It's true. But yeah, that's all I got for him, man. What do you got?
That's all I got. Listen, you don't have to go home, but you can't listen here.
Catch you next time.